They will, Tom replied, his eyes focused on the laptop feed. If they think we have something, they won't risk leaving it to chance. Around midnight, they heard a faint sound, the back door creaking open. On the laptop screen, a shadowy figure slipped into the house, moving cautiously through the darkened rooms. The figure was dressed in all black, their face partially obscured by a hood. "Who is that?" Lily whispered, her eyes wide with anticipation. The intruder moved carefully, heading toward the living room where the bait had been set. Just as they reached for the laptop, Tom hit the button on his phone and the lights blazed on. "Freeze!" he shouted. The intruder panicked, knocking over a chair as they bolted toward the back door. In their rush, they stumbled and dropped something, a phone that skidded across the floor. They scrambled back to grab it, but hearing footsteps approaching, they abandoned it and fled into the night. Mia, Lily, and Tom rushed over to the back door, but the intruder had vanished into the darkness. "Who was that?" Mia asked, her voice shaky. "Did you recognize them?" Tom shook his head. "No, I couldn't see their face." Lily picked up the phone, examining it. "Well, whoever they are, they lost this," she said, holding it up. "It might be locked, but maybe you can crack it, Tom." Tom took the phone from her, a determined look on his face. "It won't be easy, but if there's something on here that leads us to Tari or anyone else, I'm willing to try." The next few days were a blur of tension and anticipation. Tom spent every spare moment working on the device, trying to bypass its security measures. He set up in his room, his laptop connected to the phone, running software to break through its encrypted data. Each failed attempt only heightened the sense of urgency. Mia and Lily visited him frequently, bringing snacks and coffee to keep him going. "Any luck yet?" Mia asked one afternoon, her voice filled with both hope and anxiety. Tom sighed, rubbing his eyes. "Whoever this belongs to, they weren't messing around. The security on this thing is top-notch, but I'm getting close." On the third day, after hours of effort, a triumphant smile broke across Tom's face. "I'm in." Mia and Lily rushed over, peering at the screen. "What did you find?" Lily asked eagerly. Tom scrolled through the phone, his eyes scanning the contents. "Messages, photos, call logs. Let's see what we've got." He opened a messaging app and began reading through the texts. Most were coded, but there were enough context clues to piece together a narrative. It became clear that the phone belonged to a lower-level member of the coalition, a student named Femi, who was helping Terry Johnson keep tabs on potential threats. "Look at this," Tom said, pointing to a series of messages. "Tari's been coordinating everything. She was the one who told Femi to break in here and find the so-called evidence." Mia's eyes widened as she read the messages. "She's been manipulating everyone. Mark, Femi, even some of the teachers." Lily gasped. "Look at these photos," she said, scrolling through the gallery. Screenshots of conversations, photos from the party, even pictures of other students. She's been collecting blackmail material on everyone. "And it gets worse," Tom said, opening another app. "There's a recorded call between Tari and Kelechi Adebanjo. They're discussing how to handle Mia and make sure she stays quiet." Mia's stomach turned. "We need to get this to the school administration and the police. This is way bigger than we thought." When the school administration and the police began their investigation into the events surrounding Mia, the coalition, and the threats, Mia's parents were immediately notified. Mia sat in the principal's office with her mother, Auntie Falake Adeyemi, beside her. Her mother's face was a mixture of shock, confusion, and concern. She hadn't known the full extent of what her daughter had been dealing with. Mrs. Odukoya, the principal, explained the situation in detail. The conspiracy involving several students, including Mark and Tari, and the threats Mia had been receiving. The evidence from the recovered phone was presented, showing just how calculated and coordinated the actions against Mia had been. Auntie Falaka's expression shifted from disbelief to deep worry. She turned to Mia, her voice trembling. "Mia, why didn't you tell me about any of this?" she asked softly, her eyes brimming with emotion. Mia's eyes were cast downward, filled with guilt and fear. "I didn't want you to worry, Mum. I thought I could handle it, but I was scared." Her mother let out a deep sigh, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Oh, my daughter," she whispered, pulling Mia into a tight embrace. "You shouldn't have to handle this alone." The room was heavy with emotion. Mia felt a mix of relief and dread. relief that her secret was finally out in the open, but dread for the uncertainty that lay ahead. She could see the fear in her mother's eyes, the fear of a parent who just wanted to protect her child. The police officer present reassured Auntie Folklore that they were taking the matter very seriously and would be handling the investigation thoroughly. "We understand this is difficult, Mrs. Adeyemi," the officer said gently. "We're committed to ensuring that justice is served and that your daughter is safe." Auntie Folklore nodded, wiping her tears. "Please, just keep her safe," she replied, her voice barely a whisper. With her mother now aware of the situation, Mia felt a mix of emotions: guilt for not coming forward sooner, fear for what was still to come, but also a strange sense of calm, knowing she wasn't completely alone anymore. Her mother, though shaken, was there for her, and that meant everything. The investigation revealed more than just threats. It uncovered a deep-rooted conspiracy. The coalition, led by Tari Johnson and Kelechi Adebanjo, had been manipulating students and teachers for years. They had used blackmail, intimidation, and strategic alliances to maintain their grip on the school's social order. Mark's involvement, while less direct, was still significant. He had been a pawn in their game, used to lure Mia into a vulnerable position and then coerced into keeping quiet when things spiraled out of control. When questioned by the police, he finally came clean about everything he knew, revealing more about the inner workings of the coalition. Mia's pregnancy remained a delicate topic. With the full scope of the coalition exposed and the police taking over the case, she found herself contemplating what to do next. She spent quiet nights talking with her mother, who offered comfort but didn't pressure her one way or another. Did she keep the baby? What happened to Mark and the others? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that teach, inspire, and remind us of the values that truly matter.